So as you'll know by now, I picked up this Mark IV Astra about a week ago as sort of like a little side project, as well as the Fiesta, as well as the Corsa, and as well as the Focus. I figured it would give me something a little extra to make videos on. Now of course this comes with its issues. That was sort of the whole point in getting it. It was nice and cheap, only cost me £200 for the whole car, and ever since owning one of these things like 6 or 7 years ago, I've always wanted one again. So I figured today what I'll do is I'm going to sort of give you a bit more of a walk around of the car, show you all the things that are wrong with it, and then potentially if it gets a little bit cooler I want to give this thing a clean because it's been sitting for at least like 6 months and it's gathered a heck of a lot of dirt. And when you buy a new project, it's always a good idea to start off with a good decontamination to get rid of all the previous owners' rubbish that's inside here. As you can see, this thing is pretty well stuffed with just all sorts of parts and whatnot, and you can see just from the window how much dirt is sort of around the windscreen, on the windows. You can't even hardly see out of them. So this thing needs a really good clean and just a bit of a tidy up as well. Okay, so we're going to start on the outside with this thing, looking at the bodywork and sort of the paintwork. And overall, from what I can see, it's not actually too bad. There's a few areas that I'll point out as we walk around that could probably do with some attention, but for the most part, like these rear panels, front doors look pretty much fine. It's hard to see a little bit at the minute because it's pretty dirty, but I'm just looking out for major stuff. When you come around the front, it looks pretty good as well. Front bumper looks alright. Bonnet doesn't look like it's got any damage at all really. And then we've got a little bit of a scratch here, which is for a 15-year-old car, not too bad. Looks like someone's sort of gone along a bush a little bit, because you can see a few little scratches along there. Again, just lots of dirt at this side. This front door looks okay apart from a few scratches which will come out. There's also a scratch here, scratches here. They all look like they'll probably polish out. The main damage is there's a dent here, and if you can see that definitely with the sunlight. I don't know if that'll just pop out. You can tell someone's hit like a fence post or something, because there's also a little bit of damage to this back light just here as well, so they've obviously just caught something a little bit. Now the arches aren't too bad. On my old Astra, the arches were really bad, but these have got a little bit of bubbling. The same on the other side. The back bumper is probably where the worst of it is. You can see there's quite a bit of cracking along here, quite a bit of paint crack here as well. It looks like someone might have painted it at some point. Lots of paint crack here. And then there's a patch on the driver's side that looks like it's had a bit of filler at some point, so maybe there was a big dent there as well. I'm going to try and get hold of just a new bumper because it'll be cheaper and easier to do it that way. But other than that, I mean, the boot looks pretty good. The spoiler's been taken off for some reason. This has got like a normal Astra spoiler inside the car, and it's also got a GSI replica, but I'm probably not going to be using either of those because I've got something else up my sleeve for that. I'll quickly just show you in the boot, because why not. Bunch of stuff in here, just some headrests, the rear number plate, and then the glove box is in the boot for some reason, not entirely sure why, but we'll put that back in at some point. That's just a bunch of other plastic trim in there as well. Another spare center console. That's kind of it. So I'll move onto the wheels. Not too bad condition really, pretty clean, a little bit of dirt in between, but all four of them look pretty good. There's the front one. Look like they may have been painted at some point. The trim on the side is very faded. You can see below the SXI badge you've got trim here and then trim along there in that horrible grey colour. I'm not going to be treating that or anything because I'm actually going to be painting that to match the car. It's what I did on my old silver Astra, and it looks a lot cleaner having these the same colour as the car, so I'm going to paint match these. It does have an aftermarket grille on it, just like a badgeless grille. You can get them on eBay, and the headlights are fairly new as well. There's a few scratches in them, but these are like the GSI replica ones you can buy on eBay for pretty cheap. I would have put these on there if they weren't on there already. I might even actually get some new ones if that scratch won't come out. I'll probably end up keeping these because I do like the ones with the black inserts in them. I think they look a lot cleaner than the standard silver ones. Front bumper is in pretty good condition, although it is missing the bottom lip. And if you can see, there should be a bottom lip in this section here. This model does have fog lights, which is good. So yeah, that's kind of it for the main bodywork. I'm going to be giving it a clean because, as you can see, just look how dirty this thing is. Look at all that bird poo. Look at the roof, awful. All the windows, awful. This thing is in a pretty bad state, but it'll look much better when it's clean. Okay, I'll show you under the bonnet next. Okay, so under here is pretty clean. No telltale signs of any sort of modification. It all looks pretty standard airbox. Nothing seems to be messed with, apart from there's a couple of grounds here, these blue wires. One of them that's not even attached to anything. They go to the negative on the battery, not entirely sure what that's about. You can also see that the studs on the manifold look fairly new. You can see how shiny they are, so this head has been off at some point. Looks like it's had stainless bolts and stuff put on, which will make it much easier to take it off for me, so that's fine. Okay, so let's just talk about the engine for a minute. The main issue on this car, and probably the reason I got it for so little money, is because the car smokes like crazy. I've never seen a car put out so much blue smoke in my life. Never seen a car like it. I will show you. I'll start it up and I'll show you what the smoke is like. But when I was reversing it, when I went and collected it, when I was reversing it backwards to put it on the truck, like all the way around the car, I couldn't see out the windows because the smoke was just so thick. You can smell as well that it's just oil, straight burning oil like crazy. Can't tell if it's the head gasket or stem seals or whatnot. It does make you wonder if that head's been off before because those manifold bolts look quite new. Not entirely sure, but however, that is going to have to be done again. I'm going to pull the head off, redo all the valves, stem seals and stuff like that, and rebuild the head basically, and hopefully that'll fix that issue. So now that we're inside, I guess I'll quickly show you inside. This all looks fairly decent. You can tell someone's had a bit of fun painting the center console because it's got a bit of a sparkle to it. They've done like this glittery black spray paint on the console. Not my sort of thing. That'll definitely be changing back to just normal gloss black or something like that. They've also changed the gaiters, and we've got like a nice pink stitching on them. They're both going to be changed as well. Not a fan of that. Also got some purple lights in the footwells. Again, not a big fan. One under there. And then the rear lights are also pinked out, or purple, whatever colour it's meant to be. That one's not on. There's also some other goodies in here. We've got a little pipe across air filter in here. May put that to use, not entirely sure yet. A little thing for in there. I don't quite know why that's been taken out, but foot pump, paperwork. This is a GSI replica spoiler, fiberglass one. Not a big fan of this, so if anyone wants this, it needs a little bit of attention to it, but if anyone wants it, I will sell it. Needs a bit of work there, I think, the guy said. So yeah, that won't be going on the car, not a big fan of that. In the back we've got like an SXI/SRI spoiler, like the normal standard Astra spoiler that you see, you know what I mean. Floor mats, timing covers, other mats, various other bits and pieces, just needs a good clean out. I do like the Sxi seats in here. These are nice, they're very well bolstered, as you can see. These seats for a standard seat and a cloth interior are actually really nice seats. I had these in my old Sport and I had them in my SRI Astra as well. Got a little bolster adjustment here. They're actually really comfortable, really nice to sit in, apart from the fact that the driver's side one is absolutely knackered. You can see on the bolstering here, very common thing to happen, but I'm gonna have to get hold of a new set, or at least a new driver's side one. Door cards look good. I'm a big fan of the styling of these door cards, sort of the leather and the black cloth. I think they look really good together. Those look aftermarket, the little tweeters, not entirely sure what that's about. But other than that, I've got a GSI steering wheel to go in here, so this one will be leaving at some point. I'm going to put a GSI wheel in here, and that's kind of pretty much it for the interior. There's not really a lot else to show you. The back seats are in pretty good condition. Middle armrest, obviously this is a 3-door, so we haven't got doors on the sides. But yeah, just needs a good clean inside. Like I said, got a few infestations of sticky sweets and whatnot. Yeah, overall not too bad in here. So I bought this car as spares or repairs. I told you before that I paid £200 for it, and to my knowledge, all that I know about is that the engine burns oil. I don't know about any other issues. I don't know until I get the thing jacked up whether it needs any suspension work, any brake work, anything like that. I do not have a clue. The thing hasn't got an MOT, so I guess it'll come up on the MOT when it comes to that. When I get it in the air to do all the engine work, I'll make sure I check the brakes and all that and make sure everything looks in good condition. But the car has been sitting for a long time, so it might end up needing a bit of brake work, maybe some new discs and pads. I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. For 200 quid, people buy one car part and it costs 200 quid. So I've got a whole car. Yes, it is just an Astra, but I've got a whole car for that. And I'm hoping that this is going to become my main car and my main driver, because I really miss my Astra. I really like this car. The 3-door Silver Mark IVs are one of my favourite models. I love the way they look. I think they're They feel really solid, they feel really well made, and I'm just a big fan of them. I just really like them. So if you follow me on Instagram, before I went and picked up this Astra, I posted a picture as like a teaser of what project I was going to get, and some of you were confused because the picture I showed blue paintwork. It was meant to be sort of a bit of a tease and a little bit of a picture to sort of throw you off the scent, and this is the reason why I posted that picture. I have got myself a Arden Blue GSI spoiler, proper GSI spoiler, not a fiberglass one. This is all legit, and it pains me, but I'm gonna be painting this obviously silver to match the car, but I've always wanted a GSI spoiler on a Mark IV Astra, and I've never ever managed to get one before, but I think that that is gonna look absolutely sweet. Once it's all painted up silver and fitted on the car, I think that that is gonna look wicked. So that's one thing that I've already got for the car. So this is another item that I've had for probably well over a year. I bought this on the off chance that I may end up getting an Astra at some point in the future, and just so happens I've got one again. This is a Astra GSI steering wheel in actually really good condition. You can see none of the leather is really worn on it. It's fairly new. Even the grey part at the bottom, which usually wears really badly, this is all in pretty much sort of perfect condition, if not a little bit dirty. So this will be going in the car as well. That'll be going in the car. And then there's also one last thing in my other shed that I'll quickly show you, which will also be going in the car. So I have already got and have had for probably, again, close to a year. I just bought this set because they were so cheap at the time. This is a set of 17-inch GSI snowflakes. You can see they obviously need some work. They've been sanded down, and some of them have been primered, some of them are already in paint, gold paint. So yeah, I have got a set of GSI alloys already for this car. So as you can see, I was almost prepared to have one of these Astras. I sort of knew it was going to happen at some point. I knew I would end up having one of these cars, which leads me on to something. I'm just going to address this once. I'm only going to spend sort of a minute talking about it because I don't want to talk about it after this anymore. On my first video of this car, when I went and collected it, I did notice a few comments of people saying, oh, that's boring, oh, it's just an Astra, buy a decent car. Bunch of people sort of complaining that I've bought this Astra. I could speak about this for ages, but I don't want to focus on it too much. You have to bear in mind that I'm going to choose to work on whatever I find fun. You don't have to watch the videos. I don't make you watch the videos. If you think this is going to be a boring build, don't watch it. It's as simple as that. I'm not forcing you to watch it. Nobody's forcing you to watch the videos. I make these videos for fun. I make next to no money on them. I'll do it solely for the point that I enjoy doing it. I know I don't have to explain myself, and I know it's not good to focus on people that are bringing negativity to the channel, but I just wanted to kind of address it a little bit. Just say, I'm going to buy what cars I want to buy. I'm going to work on what I want to work on. And if you don't want to watch the videos, then unsubscribe and go somewhere else, because there's plenty of other people on YouTube that are doing all these fancy cars and can afford to do so. So good for them, and go watch their content instead of mine. That's all I can say. Anyway, that's enough about that. I'm not going to mention it anymore. So there's one last thing I want to do before I end this video. I'm going to quickly start the car up, give it a few revs. Hopefully I'll be able to show you what I mean by the smoke coming out of the exhaust. It's pretty bad, it's pretty hard to miss. So let's get this thing fired up and I'll show you how bad it is. Now, I don't know if I've ever showed you this on the channel before, because I didn't get sent this. This was something I bought a while ago, just to keep in the back of the car. It's one of these jump starter pack things. You sort of charge it up, and it's like this battery pack, and it comes with connectors to go onto your battery. And if you've got a flat battery or whatever, this will jump start it. You wouldn't think it would, with the size of it, but this is enough to jump start your car. Let me just check that it's got enough charge. Yep, 100% power. So I'm going to stick this on the battery because the battery is a little bit flat, and then we'll get it started. You can see it all. Don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I'm not even revved it yet. Wait there. Do you see what I mean? Oh my goodness. That's so bad. I think that just took about 5 years off my life, breathing all that in. I told you the smoke was bad, it's really bad. Within about 10 seconds of revving that thing, you could barely see the car and you couldn't even see up my garden anymore. It's crazy how bad it is. So there's something really not right. Can you let me know, that coolant bottle where the water is sort of continuously flowing in, that doesn't seem right to me. I think I remember when my mum's Astra, she had a 1.7 diesel, when the head gasket on that went, I believe that one of the symptoms was that constant stream of fluid coming into the coolant reservoir. Doesn't seem normal to me. I don't think that should be happening. So I think that the head gasket has gone, and I think that if someone has had the head off, I think the valve stem seals might not have been done properly or not seated properly or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, it's hard to say. I really hope it's not bottom end. I really hope that I don't have to be messing around with piston rings or anything, but it may come to that, we'll have to see. I don't really know how you can sort of distinguish between the two. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do the head and the head gasket, and then hopefully that will fix it. I don't really know how to approach it, whether to just do everything and sort of do an engine rebuild or just do a top end rebuild. Maybe you can let me know in the comments what you think the best way of tackling the smoke is. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. So yeah, that is the Astra. For those that are excited for it, because there is a lot of you and I appreciate all of you, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe for future content. We're now just hit over 22,000 subscribers, which is crazy. The channel is continuing to grow, which is great. Getting really good numbers on my channel as well. If you want to keep up with me sort of on a daily basis, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram on the screen right here. If you want to buy any stickers to help fund the Astra project, I'll leave a link in the description. You can buy stickers, and every penny that I get goes back into buying bits and pieces for the channel. So I was planning on washing the car in this video, but it's just way too hot to wash a car in this weather. The soap just dries straight away, the water dries straight away. It's just a pain in the bum. So I think I'll save that for the next one when we get started on working on the car properly. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one.